Oren, the Hollow One. Oren was once human, 19, brilliant and fearless. With Cluck, he built a criminal empire using technology to reshape bodies and minds. But ambition turned to horror when they created the Hollow process, a forbidden experiment meant to grant immortality. The machine malfunctioned. Oren screamed as his body unraveled, riddled with unnatural holes that pulsed with a void-like energy. He did not bleed, he emptied, his essence consumed by something unseen. His visor cracked, revealing nothing beneath. His voice became distorted, a whisper layered with static and screams. Cluck fled, leaving behind a single warning scratched into the wall. The Hollow One is awake. Oren was no longer just a man. His presence corrupted reality. Machines glitched, networks collapsed, and shadows stretched unnaturally in his wake. Those who gazed into his hollowed form vanished, their existence erased. Cities fell silent where he walked, his voice a song of static and sorrow. Now he watches from the void, waiting. He does not seek revenge or power, only to consume. And when you hear the distortion in your speakers, when the lights flicker and the air grows cold, know this: Oren has found you. Music style. The Red Phantom's secret. Raddy was an enigma, always draped in his crimson disguise, jagged horns protruding from his head. He claimed he wasn't dangerous, only hiding his true form. But beneath his costume, something stirred. Rumors whispered that he wasn't human, that his body was merely a shell for something ancient. Those who got too close described an unsettling presence, a shadow that loomed just beyond their vision. One night, a group of strangers followed him into the abandoned Blackwood Theater, a place long thought cursed. The moment they stepped inside, the doors slammed shut. The air grew heavy, thick with whispers. Raddy stood on the stage, his soulless black eyes reflecting nothing. A slow, distorted hum filled the room. The walls bled. The floor stretched endlessly, trapping them in a labyrinth of despair. Then, Raddy removed his mask. What lay beneath was neither flesh nor bone but a cracked, pulsating void. His mouth unhinged, revealing a chasm of writhing, screaming faces. Souls forever trapped in his wake. They tried to run. None escaped. By dawn, the theater was silent again. Only the strangers' masks remained. And Raddy, he was back in town. Still smiling, still masked, still watching. Would you dare follow him? Music style. OWAKCX was once a warrior of light, a man who stood against the horrors that consumed his world. When his people were cornered by the Shadowborn, he made the ultimate sacrifice, turning his shotgun on himself to prevent the darkness from taking his soul. But death denied him. He awoke in the ruins, his blood thick and black as tar, his mind fractured by the whispers of the void. A gaping wound in his head remained, yet he felt no pain, only the weight of something ancient watching him from within. The creatures he once fought now hesitated at his presence, unsure whether he was prey or predator. His shotgun, once a symbol of salvation, pulsed with a new power, the shells igniting with spectral fire. OWAKCX roamed the wasteland, caught between life and oblivion, a harbinger of dread. He saved the innocent, but at a cost. The more he fought, the less human he became. Legends whispered of him as the Hollow Sentinel, a man who defied death but lost his soul. In the end, he was neither hero nor monster, just a ghost, forever hunting, forever hunted. Music style. Tunner had once been a man of greed and pride, fighting only for himself, his money, and his honor. But when the corruption spread, he lost everything: his land, his gold, And worst of all, his voice. For years, he wandered in silence, a hollow shadow of the outlaw he once was. Then the voices came. They slithered into his skull, whispering secrets of the abyss. His lips cracked, and from his throat came a sound long forgotten. A voice, twisted and ancient. He could speak again, but what came out was not his own words. The world around him rotted, towns turned to dust, and the dead walked under the blood moon. He smoked his last cigarette and stepped into the wasteland, revolvers at his side, hunting for something unseen. But as he drew his guns against the horrors lurking in the dark, he realized the truth. The whispers were his own. The corruption had not taken his voice. It had given him a new one, and with it, it had made him something else entirely. Now, Tunner fights not for money, nor for honor, but to silence the thing inside him before it speaks his final word. Music style. Vineria, the bloom of vengeance. Vineria was once a kind-hearted girl, her soul deeply connected to nature. But kindness could not save her. She was taken, dragged into an underground facility where cruel experiments twisted her body and mind. They injected her with an unknown substance, fusing her essence with the forest itself. Her veins darkened into tangled vines, her hair became living tendrils, and one of her eyes was replaced by a pulsating black void. She endured unimaginable agony as flowers bloomed from her flesh, their petals soaked in pain. The scientists watched, fascinated, as she transformed into something neither human nor plant. But they underestimated her. One night, the vines awoke, strangling her captors where they stood. Roots erupted from their mouths, twisting through their bones, turning them into grotesque garden ornaments. The screams did not last long. Vineria emerged from the ruins, but she was no longer the same. The forest welcomed her, sensing its lost child reborn. But wherever she walked, the trees whispered warnings, the ground pulsed with unnatural life, and the flowers she left behind carried the stench of death. She was free, but freedom had a cost. Now, she wandered the earth, a beautiful nightmare, forever searching for vengeance or salvation. No one could tell. Music style. Pinki's twisted redemption. Pinki was once innocent, living in the shadow of Oren, the man she loved. When he turned to crime, she followed, blinded by devotion. Together, they thrived in the underworld, until the night Oren betrayed her. Set up and left for dead, she awoke in darkness, her body broken, her soul corrupted. The ones who found her were not human. They patched her up with cold steel and synthetic flesh, replacing what was lost with something unnatural. She was no longer just Pinki. She was something else, something wrong. The old carnival, where she and Oren once shared laughter, became her domain. Beneath the flickering neon, she waited, her mechanical heart pulsing with vengeance. One by one, she lured criminals into her twisted funhouse, the air thick with the scent of rust and death. Then Oren returned, unaware of what she had become. The carousel lights flickered as Pinki stepped into view, her half-metal face reflecting his terror. This time, there was no escape. He begged, but she only smiled, her jagged teeth glinting in the dim glow. The carnival never closes now. Those who enter don't leave. And deep within, Pinki still rides the carousel, humming a tune from a life she barely remembers, forever haunting the world that betrayed her. Music style.